This is a most important social skills book. Enjoy. How to win friends and influence people. Let's clear the mud. This is the most famous self-improvement book ever. And it was written, unfortunately, for cavemen. If you are lucky to find anything that you didn't know or not using already in your life, then you're probably crawling through pages with the magnifying lens. I will help you to systematize everything you can read in here. And first of all, why I said this book was written for cavemen, author of this book assumes that everybody is rude to everybody. Everybody wants what's not theirs without asking, that employees criticize their workers, husbands criticize their wives cooking, and trolley drivers are rude to the passengers. Why I said trolley drivers, it's one of the examples that he uses when General Motors bought all the trolleys and put buses instead to sell more oil and more rubber and more motor cars. But of course, Carnegie didn't know that. He thought trolleys were nonsense because they wouldn't stop for everybody. Driver wouldn't say hello to everybody. And he were comparing that to jeepneys that collected 10 cents from every passenger, and they would stop on the middle of any highway to pick that passenger or drop him off because of that 10 cents incentives. For a dime, driver was pleasant and happy to see you. Also, a lot of things already dismissed about his explanation of scientific discovery, like ether transmits your feelings. There is no ether. It's not necessary concept. There's radio waves. Okay. And as we sweep the crap out, I will bring you most essential stuff in a book that you can summarize, systematize, and use. Okay? Ready? First of all, what this book is going to do for you. It will help you get out of your mental rut, give you new thoughts, new vision, new ambition, enable you to make friends quickly and easily, help you win people to your way of thinking, increase your influence, your prestige, your ability to get things done, enable you to win new clients, new customers, increase your earning power, make you a better salesman, a better executive, help you handle complaints, avoid arguments, keep your human contact smooth and pleasant, make you a better speaker, a more entertaining conversationalist, make principles of psychology easy for you to apply in your daily contacts, help you to arouse enthusiasm among your associates. And now, techniques. There is not a lot of them. You can summarize them by 3, okay? Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. You know that already. Human nature does not like to admit fault. When people are criticized or humiliated, they rarely respond well and will often become defensive and resent their critic. To handle people well, we must never criticize, condemn, or complain, because it will never result in behavior we desire. I am summarizing book for you so you don't have to read it, about ether and about jitneys, okay? That was the one fundamental technique in handling people out of 3. Second, give honest and sincere appreciation. It's kind of an invisible thing, right? Who knows if you're honest or you're appreciative? But people go mad when you admire something. They do for you. Appreciation is one of the most powerful tools in the world. People will rarely work at their maximum potential under criticism, but honest appreciation brings out their best. Appreciation, though, is not simple flattery. It must be sincere. It must be sincere, meaningful, and with love. So, 2 fundamental techniques in handling people: not to criticize or complain, give honest appreciation, and third one, arouse in the other person an eager want. To get what we want from other person, we must forget our own perspective and begin to see things from the point of view of others. When we can combine our desires with their wants, they become eager to work with us, and we can mutually achieve our objective. You understand what he's talking about? People not gonna please you just to please you. You crawl under their skin and you see what they want and how it benefits them when they follow your advice. So we covered so far fundamental techniques in handling people. Now, 6 ways to make people like you. First one, become genuinely interested in other people. You can make more friends in 2 months by being interested in them than in 2 years by making them interested in you. The only way to make quality, lasting friendships is to learn to be genuinely interested in them and their interest. So first one, become genuinely interested in other people. Second, smile. Yeah, look silly if you have to. Happiness does not depend on outside circumstances, but rather on inward attitude. Smiles are free to give and have an amazing ability to make others feel wonderful. Smile in everything that you do. So first one, become genuinely interested in other people. Second, smile. Smile at everything that you do. Because you make other people wonderful. They want to be next to you. Third one, out of 6. Remember that person's name is, to that person, the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Third one is person's name. Here he will say how some president would remember person of their chauffeur or their some kind of election manager that he didn't see in years, and if he didn't catch the name right away, he would ask for a pen and pencil, write it down, and read it out loud to memorize that name, okay? And it's nothing wrong if you didn't catch person's name right away. Ask again, ask to repeat, ask how you spell it. For that person, apparently, it's the sweetest sound in the world. So third one, remember person's name. The average person is more interested in their own name than in all other names in the world put together. People love their names so much that they often donate large amount of money just to have a building named after themselves. We can make people feel extremely valued and important by remembering their name. And because it's only 6 rules, I will repeat as we go. First one, become genuinely interested in other people. Second, smile. Third one, remember the person's name. 4. Be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. The easiest way to become a good conversationalist is to become a good listener. To be a good listener, we must actually care about what people have to say. Many times, people don't want an entertaining conversation partner. They just want someone that will listen to them. So fourth is be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. And to refresh, 6 ways to make people like you. First one, become genuinely interested in other people. Second, smile. Third one, remember their name. Fourth, be a good listener. Don't talk about yourself, let them talk about themselves. Fifth, talk in terms other people understand. The royal road to a person's heart is to talk about things he or she treasures the most. If we talk to people about what they are interested in, they'll feel valued and value us in return. And he has an example, like if you visit some kind of professional, like doctor and accountant, and you see baseball glove on their table, or picture of dead safari animals on every wall, you immediately have to stop talking about why you are there, talk about his safari trophies, and about that glove that laying on his table. Interested in them and talk their language. Talk about safari, and don't worry, they will teach you those terms. You will talk their language. 6. Make other person feel important and do it sincerely. It's kind of redundant, but it's kind of, I guess, way that book settled priorities. Golden rule is to treat other people how you would like to be treated. We like to feel important, and so does everybody else. People will talk to us for hours if we allow them to talk about themselves. If we can make people feel important in sincere and appreciative way, they will win friends more friends that we could ever dream of. Golden rule, why it's not first rule but 6, you have to ask Dale Carnegie. So far, we went through two major points. Fundamental techniques in handling people. You remember? Not to criticize or complain. Give honest and sincere appreciation. Arouse in other people eager want. So, by playing together in your team, they kind of on a streamline to get what they want. That one is to make people like you, and 6 ways to make people that one is to control people, and about making people like you, those 6. I just jump through all 6 again. Become generally interesting people. Smile. Remember person's name. Be a good listener. Talk in terms they understand. And make people feel important. And also, it means golden rule. Treat people as we all like to be treated. And now, how to influence people's opinion. 12 ways to win people to your way of thinking. The only way to get best of an argument is to avoid it. Whenever we argue with someone, no matter if we win or lose the argument, we still lose. The other person will either feel humiliated or try to improve their argument. But we will try to avoid arguments altogether. And it's about the salesman then went to some distant farm barns when they have motors to help shovel the grain in the grain bins. And he wanted to sell the farmer the motor. And farmer said, no, motors that you sell are overheat. They're hot on touch, I don't want them. Other guy, his motors don't overheat. What would happen if the salesman started arguing? Oh no, it's not hot, I can hold it to my hand for 1 minute. No. He said, yes, you're right. Maybe it's still considered safe. Let's check the manual. And he said, you're right, to that complaining farmer. 10 times. And they opened the manual. They measured temperature of the motor and temperature that was suggested in the manual, and it was matching. So farmer won the argument. It was hot, but it's still in a range of the manual book. And the farmer, instead of feeling superior, he lowered himself to the salesman level and he ordered motors. So the only way to win arguments is not to have arguments. It's first out of 12 ways to influence people thinking. Second, show respect for other person's opinion. Never say you are wrong. You must never tell people flat out they are wrong. It will only serve to offend and insult their pride. No one likes to be humiliated. We must not be so blunt. This one second. First one, way to win argument is not to have arguments. Second, show respect. No one likes to be humiliated. Don't say somebody is wrong. Third one, if you are wrong, admit it quickly and empathetically. Whenever we are wrong, we should admit it immediately. When we fight, we never get enough. By yelling, we often get more than we expected. When we admit that we are wrong, people trust us and begin to sympathize with our way of thinking. You admit the wrong, they feel good, and they're already friends. So I go from first to start again. To win argument, it's not to have it. Show respect, nobody likes to be wrong. But when you're wrong, admit it. Begin in friendly way. A drop of honey can catch more flies than gallon of gall. If we begin interaction with other people friendly way, people will be more receptive. Even if we are greatly upset, we must be friendly to influence people to our way of thinking. So don't start conversation with hostility. Throw a drop of honey. It was number 4. I'm gonna jump to number 5 and I'm gonna repeat all 12 in the end. Start with questions to which one other person will answer yes. Do not begin with sympathizing the aspects in which we, other people, different. Begin by emphasizing, continue emphasizing the things on which we agree. People must be started in the affirmative direction and will be often follow readily. Never tell somebody they're wrong, but rather lead them where we would like them to go with questions they will make them answer yes to. So if you ask something, make sure the answer is yes, even before you ask the question. It was number 5. 6. Let other person to do great deal of thinking. People do not like listening to us boast. They enjoy doing the thinking themselves. Let them rationalize and talk about the idea because it will taste much sweeter to them in their own mouths. So let people come to conclusion that it was their decision. Don't decide for them. Just lead them to the conclusion that they thought about it and they decided. 7. Let other person feel the idea is his or hers. People inherently like the idea that they come on their own better than those that were handled to them on a platter. Ideas can best be carried out by allowing others to think they arrived at it the same themselves. 8. Try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. Other people may be often wrong, but we cannot condemn them. We must seek to understand them. Success is dealing with people requires sympathetic grasp of other person's point of view. 8. See things through other person's point of view. 9. Be sympathetic with other people's ideas and desires. 10. Appeal to the nobler motives. Everyone likes to be glorious in their own eyes. People believe they do things for noble and morally upright reasons. If we can appeal to their noble motives, we can successfully convince them to follow our ideas. Appeal to noble motives. 11. Dramatize your ideas. In this fast-paced world, simply stating a truth isn't enough. The truth must be made vivid, interesting, and dramatic. Television has been doing it for years. Sometimes ideas are not enough, and we must dramatize them. Dramatize your idea. Go get acting class. And last one, throw down challenge. The thing that most motivates people is the game. People desire to excel, provide their worst, to prove their worth. If we want someone to do something, we must give them challenge, and they will often rise to meet it. Throw down a challenge. Take him on in there. And it was 12 ways to influence people thinking. First one, to win argument is not to have argument. Second, show respect, never say you're wrong. Third one, if you are wrong, admit it quickly. Begin in friendly way, drop of honey, it's fourth. Fifth, start with question which other person will answer yes. If they answer yes on random questions, you have better chance they will answer to your offer with yes. 6. Let other person do a great deal of thinking. Don't say that you decided for them. They will think and they will come up with the same advice you give them. 7. Let other person feel idea is their own. Don't take credit if you solve something. Let them solve or think they solve their problem. 8. Try honestly to see things from other person's point of view. Step in their shoes. 9. Be sympathetic with other person's ideas and desires. People looking for sympathy. You want to recognize it. 10. Appeal to nobler motives. Even last criminal think he was acting out of noble motives. Mention it to them, and maybe they will go with your plan. 11. Dramatize your idea. Do not just read emotionlessly some kind of proposition. Do it like they do on TV. Act, because people are surrounded by ideas and they can't figure out which one is important, which one is not, unless it's dramatized. And 12, throw down and challenge. People like to be challenges, and they can give any challenge a try if they feel like it. So give them a challenge. And now, little thing that you may consider redundant, but it's how to be a leader, how to change people without giving offense or arousing resentment. Begin with praise. It's against the same thing as throwing a drop of honey, and you will feel some of it redundant. But it's good way, as for Carnegie's point of view, to act is this modern world. You're not cavemen. You can't just go crush everything on your way. You have to leave happy people behind you, so you would walk there again. So be a leader, make people do stuff without arousing resentment. Begin with praise and honest appreciation. People do things for criticism and aren't feasting leader, but they will work wonders if they're praised and appreciated. People wait for that gold watch on the day of retirement, right? Is their achievement, like they are not some other employees, because it's their appreciation, gesture appreciated from employer. Call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. No one likes to make mistake, especially in front of others. Scolding and blaming only serves to humiliate. If we subtly and indirectly show people mistake, they will appreciate us and will be more likely to improve. Third one, talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. When something goes wrong, taking responsibility can help others and lead them to your side. People do not like to shoulder all the blame and taking credit for mistakes. Help remove strong sting from their critique of others. For example, there is no more typewriters in the offices, but if your secretary forgot to change the carbon tape on typewriter or slower than usual, tell her your mistake, how you would never remember that either, before criticizing her. Ask questions instead of giving direct orders. No one likes to take orders. If you offer suggestion rather than orders, it will boost others' confidence and allow them to learn quickly from their mistakes. Fifth, let other person save face. Nothing diminishes the dignity of men, quite like insult to their pride. If we don't condemn our employees in front of others and allow them to save face, they will be motivated to do better in the future and confident that they can. 6. Praise every improvement. People love to receive praises and admiration. If we truly want to praise their every advance, ability under criticism blossom, and when encouraged, abilities multiply. 7. Give other person fine reputation to live up to. If you give people great reputation to live up to, they will desire to embody characteristics with which we have described them. People will work with vigor and confidence if they believe they can be better. So if somebody kind of late all the time, you tell in front of others that they're never late to work, and tell it again, and they will live up to that expectation and will be never late for work. Use encouragement. Make fault seem easy to correct. 9. Make other person happy about doing what you suggest. People will most often respond well when they desire to do behavior to put for. If you want to influence people and become effective leaders, we must learn to frame our desires in terms of others' desires. This one also, the chapter that was recovered, and it was deemed unuseful in our days, but I still will teach you about it. Carnegie analyzed that later this can appeal to people's feelings with words "do me a favor" as opposite to directly ask somebody for what you want. So when you write something, request something, make them think that they making you a favor. And of course, as I promised, how to make your family life happier. Don't nag. Don't try to make your partner over. Don't change them. Don't criticize. Give honest appreciation. Pay attention. Be courteous. Courtesy, okay? Courtesy. Show courtesy. And basically that's it. All this book is about how to stop being a caveman. You don't need to read it because it has a lot of bullshit and you're already not a caveman. Just remember these things. Golden rule.